You know what's nice? Taking photos. During the last couple of years, I've gotten into film photography as a way to remind myself what I liked about taking photos. It's been a lot of fun, and despite it being a massive money sink when it comes to gear and development, I can see this becoming a lifetime hobby for me, and it's revitalized my interest in digital photography as well. Because of that, I want to show you the smallest SLR I own. The Fujica ST801. It's an M42 screw-mount camera produced from 1972 to 1978, which holds the honor of being the first SLR to use LEDs in the viewfinder in lieu of that common match needle meter display. Despite it using what's nowadays a very uncommon battery for its meter, I'm pleased to report mine still works great, and the only real issue it has is the light seals ought to be replaced. To put into perspective its size, I'll show it in comparison to a Canon FTB QL, which I consider to be a fairly comfortably sized camera. While the lens ends up protruding somewhat further than the FTB, the width and height of the body is notably smaller. The only real drawback in my experience is that the viewfinder ends up being pretty small compared to other SLRs, but it's a fair sacrifice to make for having such a compact and performant camera. To test the camera and a couple of the lenses I have for it, I put a cheap roll of Fujifilm 400 in it and shot it over the course of about a week while toting it around in my daily bag. For most of the shots on the roll, I used the 50mm f1.4 EVC Fujinon lens that I have on it typically, as I tend to prefer that focal length anyway for most shots I try to take, but for a few I swapped to a 28mm f3.5 lens of the same line to see what I could do with a wider focal length. I can't say I like the shots from the 28mm lens compositionally, but both lenses please me with their sharpness, even on what is in my experience a fairly grainy film stock. I only have two issues with the camera, and they're fairly minor issues at that. Since it's most convenient to fully stow away the camera, I had a couple misfires while it was in my bag due to my habit of winding the shutter directly after each shot taken. I'm a little spoiled by the shutter lock on the FTB in that regard. Alongside that, the other complaint comes back to the viewfinder, where some shots end up having a bit of my finger in there as it rests on the focus ring, since in the viewfinder it's a lot harder to tell if I've successfully kept my hand out of the shot. I suppose, though, that might just be what I get for posturing my hand the way I do and for habitually not using a lens hood. Otherwise, I feel I prefer the Fujica to my Canon in every other regard, and I plan on loading some black and white film in this camera in the near future. For the immediate future, however, I have to set it aside because I have another camera I need to test. This absolute tank of a camera, the Nikromat FTN. Perhaps I'll make another video once I do that, but who knows. Regardless, thank you for watching. Here's hoping I don't bankrupt myself with camera gear anytime soon.